And I am joined by a very, very vocal and renowned organization. When I first heard their name, I thought, wow. They say, we don't have time. Now, basically, people have said that over and over, and when it comes to conserving the environment, reviving and restoring the environment, we've always said, time is up. We don't have enough time. But we don't have time now actually carry that name around. And the more they talk about the environment, they still remind you, we don't have time. But today we are very specific on looking at nature-based solutions to everyday problems. Apparently, there are always problems every single day, and they touch on the environment. Allow me to welcome on set my panelists, Karibuni Sana. Thanks for creating time. We always enjoy hosting you.
We also enjoy coming here.
And I'm going to start with him because he's way vocal. And of course, that is Edwin Wangombe, who is a field officer with We Don't Have Time. Karibu Sana. Please feel free to start us off, say good morning, and tell us what we expect perhaps.
Okay, good morning our viewers. First of all, thank you to Look Up TV for hosting us for giving us another chance.
Karibu.
We thank you for giving us a chance to put the awareness out there in the world. So as you've said, my name is Edwin Wangombe. I'm a field officer working with We Don't Have Time. Yes, so I hope you'll stay tuned and learn more from us.
Absolutely, even when it comes to the environment, because the next generation needs to have, I usually say, a sober environment as well. And the only lady, with us today, women are nurturers, so we want to hear, because Mother Nature is by default a woman. All right. So Zelda Ninga, she is Assistant Partnership Manager with We Don't Have Time. Karibu Sana.
Asante Sana. Good morning to you all. I'm glad to be here. She has said, my name is Zelda Ninga, and I am the Assistant Partnership Manager for We Don't Have Time. And I hope you'll all enjoy the talk.
We're already enjoying it because of the energy that we're seeing exuded and the confidence right here. Mr. Patrick Kiarie, you have been here before, and you were very, very, significant to that first conversation when we were looking at the, the infrastructure and its effect on the environment. And today, as we look at the, the nature-based solutions, I just want to introduce you again. It is Patrick Kiarie, who is the African Director, We Don't Have Time. Remember, it's a global organization. So thank you very much for being here. Please say good morning.
Good morning, Kenyans and beautiful dads. We are here again. We have to be vocal, as Anka said, and we have to have this conversation. So we are happy to be hosted again. Let's have this talk and conversation.
Amazing. Thank you very much. We don't have time for also choosing to come out because a lot of people are either giving up on the environment or thinking there is no solution whatsoever. So we thank you for standing out. Now, I came across a research that will cue us in. You can agree or disagree, and also share with us really why you are here today. So over 36% of Kenya's population lives below the national poverty line. Only 20% of the country's land is classified as suitable for agriculture. Yet, it used to be about, more than that. What happened? Where did we go wrong? Is infrastructure taking over? 75% of the population depend on it, yet it's only 20% that is suitable for agriculture. Now, escalating land degradation, exacerbated by climate change, increasing frequency and severity of droughts. Remember, we're still talking about drought even today. There is that fear, there's that threat. There's flooding, there's locust invasions, and low investments in sustainable and resilient agriculture, negatively impacting the environment and rural livelihoods. This was just something I thought would, create a situation that people then would understand why we don't have time, coming on the forefront, being vocal about having nature-based solutions, to everyday problems. I'll start with, Mr. Kiarie. What would be your overall view on really the perspective and of nature-based, solutions so far? Because I don't think the world has been taking that angle lately.
Yeah, I think all of us, we have affected our livelihoods, and that's why the statistics, they are telling the true information in the ground.
Okay.
So it's for us to up the game and see how we can do, at least to avoid this things which are coming. Okay, a lot have been contributed with weather patterns, which is being done by humanity. So we need to change that, and at least we salvage what we are remaining with. Yeah.
We need to save what's left. And I want to come to you. Is it Zelda or Zed is?
Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda.
Zelda. Okay, thank you. When I'm talking about the problems that we're facing right now, because what is happening right now is at the expense of the environment, the government and every other stakeholder thinks they're acting in goodwill by coming up with certain type of solutions. Yeah. But what are these problems we're looking at really?
When you talk about these problems, there are so much problems. And most of these problems are caused by us.
The human?
Yeah, the human.
Okay.
And most of the time, if you ask most of these people, very few, they know. And the people that don't know, they have no idea of what it means about nature. So that's why we don't have time. We decided that we have this platform where we can educate people and engage and dialogue with people, companies, so that they can know what they are doing is wrong to nature. So when you say the government, what it is doing, basically I would say that I'd prefer if the government was more involved in telling people what it is to ruin our nature. Yeah.
People don't understand what they're doing. I think that came up last time as well, when we said it is the ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, they think they're getting a means of livelihood, but they're actually not giving the right solutions. There are nature-based solutions that can actually, you know, have a win-win situation for humankind and the environment. And I want to hear from, you know, the one who has been on the ground, you know, literally interacting with people. When you talk to these people really, and you want to tell us, you know, vividly the statistics, are we having an alarm rate of people who don't seem to understand that there are other nature, you know, based solutions to problems they think they're solving?
Let me first start with giving a little definition of nature-based solution, because I've noticed we've gone into the topic,
the discussion,
like telling people. So nature-based solution is like using nature to heal nature.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it is the actions where people use the ecosystem to heal the world. It is more cheaper, it's reliable, and it's effective, comparing to other forms of solution that people are coming up with.
Okay.
And me being on the ground, being the man, or the boots on the ground, I will say, like, we really have a problem, but people are coming, people are adapting to the conversation, because as Kenyans, you know, we are ignorant. There is a percentage of people, of Kenyans who are really ignorant, and whenever you go and present the problem of climate change to them, they're like, in January, you know, and they don't know anything about global warming. I think it's a problem that comes from the education sector, or maybe interacting with the internet. People don't do that much, so they don't get a lot of knowledge or information of what the world is going through. But now that is where we come in. We go and approach them on a personal note, like on a one-on-one note. We have a conversation with them, and we've seen good results. We can't complain, by the way. People are appreciating us, and they are coming to join in the conversation and taking action.
I like that you gave us the definition. I want us to take a short breather. There's a beautiful, beautiful video on the Earth Day that, you know, shows what We Don't Have Time is all about, and the actions they actually take when it comes to environment. But of course, I'm going to be coming in with what he has said. He said it's cost effective, but people will question, what do you mean cost effective? It could be in your eyes, but not for the common Mwananchi. So we're coming in to talk about the types of these nature-based solutions that you guys are preaching about, if I'd use the word preach. You know, which ones are feasible, even in whichever counties, because we are looking at different counties, Turkana and Nairobi. But you see, you will enlighten us. But first, perhaps I give you this beautiful moment of the video. The director is letting me know that this is not yet ready, but we're bringing you that video shortly. Let's talk about the types then. as we go into now, the cost effective, as we wait for the video, let's cover the types of the nature-based solutions we're looking at. Mr. Paul.
Okay,
Patrick, pardon me.
Yeah, true. Some of the nature issues that we should add on, I think, is to plant trees and plant things that will help the people at least to get solutions through that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you talk about planting trees, I mean, for a long time we've talked about planting trees, afforestation, reforestation. Is it really practically happening?
I don't think it is, because like I know in Kenya, you're supposed, when you cut one tree, you're supposed to plant two.
Yes,
but if
it's a law.
If that was what was happening from the way back, I don't think we'll be having those problems right now.
Okay.
So what we need to protect our forests. That is very important, because when we say we protect, then it means if someone has to cut a tree, then they have to plant another one. And then we have things like green roofs in buildings. You bring nature to towns. So those are some of the things that we can do to make our nature back to where it was.
Zelda, can I bring you to the reality on the ground? You've seen the new infrastructure, the expressway. At some point you see some grass is trying to some flowers. And when you go on Twitter, Kenyans actually think it's unnecessary that we have all this, coming on the roads and coming to the, urban setups. Have you met that observation before?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
And what are your thoughts?
Okay. Some of them, they are a bit, okay, I cannot comment so much on it, but I'd prefer in everything that we do, we have to look at the effects of what it will bring. Because when you plant a tree, it cannot take like 1 month to grow. It will take a long time. Okay. But the benefits, it is a long-term benefit. So sometimes we need to ask ourselves questions like, do we need to cut these trees? Okay, if this is, we have to have a road there. There are some places that they build highways under forests. There's a way of doing it. There's always a way.
You don't have to clear the forest.
Yes, there's always a way.
Okay.
And to add on,
yes.
I think, if Kenyans are against the flowers that are being planted in like Thika Road or Expressway, they should not go against it, because we are using the vehicles which are producing a lot of carbon through fossil fuels. So in one way or the other, those flowers or anything that's being planted in the expressway, it absorbs that carbon. So it's very important in one way or the other.
It's actually good for the balance. Yeah. I don't know if you have something to add before we actually go into the video on this particular, the types of solution-based, nature-based solutions that we've been talking about, yes?
Yeah, I do. The types are, one, renewable energy, which is provided naturally by God. We don't have to do anything to like have it. It's not like the fossil fuels where you have to mine for millions of kilometers to get the crude oil and then come process it. Like, it's a long process. But when we use the renewable energy, the solar energy, wind energy, geothermal, these are things that God has provided for us naturally. So that is one type of nature-based solution. Instead of using non-renewable energy, we should use the renewable energy. And the other type of nature-based solution is protecting and conserving the ecosystem.
All right, like you said, protecting even the forest.
Yes.
Yeah, you protect the ecosystem, which ranges from the bushes, the shrubs, the forests, the wetlands. So if we protect those, then we are trying to fight climate change using nature-based solutions. So I think there are multiple types of nature-based solutions. These are things that are there in nature, which we use to fight climate change, or we use to protect nature itself. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. You've given us bits, and I know as we continue, questions are going to be arising, and people will be like, okay, you speak of this. How feasible is it in my county?
Yeah.
So I want everyone watching us from Mashinani to know this is their conversation. It's not all about the cities. It is you who's watching us from Kambani, Machakos, if you're in Kakamega, Busia, Wajir, Turkana, as far as Samburu. Please interact with We Don't Have Time right here live on Facebook and on Twitter. Use the hashtag #TheMorningDrift. I'll take a short breather, but not to leave, to allow you watch just what is a glimpse of what We Don't Have Time is all about when they are really in action. Enjoy.
Nothing is more important today. Nature-based solutions is probably the most relevant topic that humanity is discussing.
Let's commit to a planet where people and animals and nature flourish together.
There are hundreds of millions of hectares of degraded land which can be reforested or worked on to start building up and absorbing carbon.
Can we convert deserts into forests? It turns out the answer is yes.
You should absolutely consider to invest in protection and restoration of nature.
You know, as a telecommunication company, as Ericsson, maybe you wouldn't think that we work with nature-based solutions, but we've had an initiative now for a few years called Connect the Mangroves.
Every new strategy and policy for us in my field on land use from now on will be judged and measured by its ability to draw down carbon.
The science tells us we have to halve our emissions by 2030, and this counter is a reminder of how little time we've actually got left.
This is serious, this is existential, but this can be solved. We can still get the job done.
All right, welcome back. That was just a short video to show you what exactly their projects are made up of. And of course, on set is We Don't Have Time. Today, they're very intentional about nature-based solutions to the problems that we face day in and day out. So what more projects do they have in line with this particular, agenda? Let's hear from Mr. Patrick. Patrick, what is then the plan? As much as you guys are vocal, you guys have also been seen to be very action-oriented. So when it comes to nature solutions, what is We Don't Have Time working on?
Okay, for us, as we don't have time, in the coming month, which is June, I'm going to represent Africa in the UNEP Stockholm at 50, which will be held in Sweden. And I know more countries, like 186 countries, they will attend that event, and so many people from all over the world. I think we need to take this conversation beyond the celebration, which is 50 years since the UNEP started in 1972, back there in Sweden. So I think we are going there and see what can we do as African. We need to push that voice to the world and tell them maybe we need this and this.
Okay.
We hope our leaders will act on that.
And I like when you say we hope our leaders will act on that. Not that they haven't been talking about it, but I'm coming back to you, Zelda. I want to hear from the person. I know you've all been on the ground. I keep saying that because being in the fields and getting in touch with these people, there has been, the vocal nature of leaders when it comes to goodwill for environment. And of course, Patrick is saying we are hoping they get to actually get, action-oriented. What is your feedback from the ground, really? Counties, and, are we seeing any counties picking up the nature-based solutions?
I can say like a few of the counties are picking up, and there is room for improvement.
Okay.
Because as much as the leaders have projects to beautify the city, painting buildings blue and white, and making murals and painting like arts on the buildings, I think if that amount of money that is used to do that is channeled towards an environmental project, it will really do well for the environment and the climate as a whole. So I will say very few counties are doing well. An example of Machakos. Machakos is doing well. The governor has really put in place the nature thing in place. So I think I will commend Alfred Mutua for his work And I think other counties should also follow suit. Yeah, because we only have this planet. If we don't take care of it, we don't have any other place to go.
And like they always say, it retaliates. And I want to hear from Zelda. So far, this is a matter of urgency as we are speaking, and going to represent us in that global forum. We'll be seeing a lot of comparisons because most of other countries we deem developed are pretty much underdeveloped when it comes to the nature-based solutions. Zelda, what would be your remarks on this, really, the current situation, and like you said, fewer counties doing what ought to be done?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I also go to the field sometimes, and trust me, it's not easy talking to people about climate. Most of these people, they ask you, what do I get? Because for us, we have an app, and this app, it's for everyone to know what is happening around the world. And now we tell people to download this app,
Yes.
or you just go to your computer and you just read about, we don't have time. And basically, it's all about climate. And they think that we are after something. And honestly, it's for all of us. And I would love people if they would read about climate so that they can know how serious it is. Because actually they think that it doesn't affect them. It affects every single person in this world.
Zelda, you've mentioned the app, and that app idea also came up last time. It was very, very instrumental. I don't want anyone to be left out. So please tell us the name of the app. Is it on Play Store? How do we get it? I remember there was an aspect of people would agree or disagree with you, like or not like.
Yes.
But please remind us again, for somebody who was not in touch with us last time, maybe they can even follow the summit?
Yeah, they can follow the summit.
Through the app.
Okay, our app is called We Don't Have Time. You can go to Play Store and search it. Apart from that, maybe you don't have the smartphone. Still, you can be part of us through website. You can type www.wedon'thavetime.org. And from there, you'll be part of us. We'll plant a tree for you. Everyone who joins, at least we appreciate by doing something for our nature, that is, of our planet. And still, you can follow us in all social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
I saw your Instagram is very active.
Yeah. We call ourselves We Don't Have Time. And in Kenya, We Don't Have Time Kenya at Twitter. And from there, we can have a conversation.
But this is the globe coming under one voice and saying, if we do not save Mother Nature, we're losing generations in the next.
Yes.
Because the Mother Nature is retaliating already. So we're looking forward to that project. The nature-based solutions now taking center stage. You know, every other problem will always arise, but must we solve them at the expense of the environment? Maybe not. Actually, not. Thank you so much for creating time. We hope to have you again. Our time was a bit shorter today, but I'm sure you understand. We wish you all the best in the representation. And of course, Kenya is stepping up. So we really look forward to the grassroots and the governors, like you said, also stepping up together with We Don't Have Time.